Ever feel the RSI2 is occupying too many strategies in your portfolio? What if I told you there is a better oscillator that can diversify your portfolio? You can use it on the same instrument, same strategy style, but produce a better or different equity curve. This is the ultimate C%, a custom indicator developed just for traders like you. And in today's video, I will show you how to use it inside StrategyQuant X, not only as a signal, but as a strategy filter. The ultimate C% is based on my original indicator, which is called KCC%. Basically, it measures the changes in the close and then rank those changes on a scale based on the look-back period, and then coming up with a number. That number will oscillate between 0 and 100. Now, the ultimate C% indicator takes multiple KCC% indicators and add weights to them to come up basically with a smoother oscillator that should produce different results than the KCC%. Now, I didn't develop these two indicators to come up with the best indicator or better than RSI or better than stochastic. Basically, I wanted different equity curve based on the same strategy style. So if I'm using mean reversion based on all these oscillators, I want to produce different equity curves, different strategy metrics, average trade, number of trades, drawdown, and so on and so forth. And this is an illustration of how these indicators show up on the chart. So here I have the S&P 500 chart, and below it here is the RSI indicator, and then the middle one is the KCC% indicator, and the one at the bottom is the ultimate C% indicator. Now, they might look the same, basically showing the same signal, but in fact, they are different. If you test them, they will produce different results. Now, I've tested many oscillators in my Algo versus Crop series. If you didn't see them, I highly recommend that you go and watch that list of videos. Basically, I take every oscillators and test it with different speeds on many markets with different exits to see what kind of results they produce. This is the most recent database of these oscillators, and so far I have about 72,000 strategies with about 14.5 million trades. And when I filter these strategies, I get about 3,000 robust strategies. Now, these are not strategies per se, these are just raw edges. So you still need to add filters to them to come up with a strategy. There are about 500,000 trades in these strategies. And when I rank them based on the strategies, the ultimate C% is number one with 198 strategies that are robust on all these markets. And you can see the RSI is number 7. Now, that doesn't mean that the RSI can't produce better results. It's just the number of strategies are higher with ultimate C. All these strategies will produce good profits and good metrics. Both KCC% and ultimate C% indicators are free and available for many platforms. To download the free indicators, you need to join the StatOasis free community. Once you are in the community, go to the bonuses channel and scroll down and you will find the ultimate C% oscillator. It's available for many platforms, and recently it is available for StrategyQuant X, and that's what we will use in this video. So once you download the zip file for SQX, you will find 4 files inside the zip folder. And if you export StrategyQuant X strategies to other platforms, you need to import these indicators into the other platforms. So this is the MetaTrader and multi-chart, and this is the SQX extension. Now, to import this into SQX, you need to launch SQX and then go to the code editor. Once you launch the code editor, go to Import, Export, and Import Extension, and pick this file with the extension SXP. Now, once you import it and it's compiled, you can go to the user section, code, and you should see it available now in easy language and MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and pseudocode. Now, once it's compiled and loaded here, it will show up in SQX. Once it's available in SQX, of course, you can use it to build a strategy or use it as a filter. So here we are in Algo Wizard in StrategyQuant X, and just like any other block, you can say add another condition, and if you search for it, ultimate, it will show up. So once it shows up, there are these three variables and the shift. So if you are using MetaTrader, keep the shift as 1. For easy language and multi-charts, do the shift as 0. I suggest that you keep the smooth look back always set at 3. Factor, you can change it, but also keep it at 2 most of the time. These basically, they change the number of trades. The look back is the most common thing to change. But if we keep this is the strategy. If the ultimate C percent 323 below 20, go long. If it's above 65, exit. Also, we have another exit of 5 days. And this is the strategy results on the S&P 500 from December 2007 to February 2025. So these are the strategy results. Now I added here the RSI 2 basic strategy, which is when the RSI look back 2 lower than 25, we go long. Above 65, we exit. Also 5-bar exit. And these are the strategy results. Now, from first looks, you might tell, well, this is much better because it's producing $192,000 profit. But if you look at the average trade and the exposure and compare it to the ultimate C, you can see that this is less than half the trades with double the average trade and less than half the exposure. And of course, because of that, you get higher return to drawdown ratio, which is 5.6 here compared to 4 point something on the RSI 2. Again, we are not looking for the best oscillator. We just want a different equity curve. And the ultimate C produced definitely different equity curve. It's the strategy metrics is totally different. It's less exposure. Even though we are using the same rules, we're exiting after 5 days on both strategies, but we're producing higher average trade and less number of trades, less exposure, higher return to drawdown ratio, and so on and so forth. But in this video, we are not interested in building the strategy. I will show you how to use the ultimate C percent as a strategy filter. So to do that, we go to custom blocks and we create our own block. So I created 6 blocks over here, and let me show you how I do that. So you go to add block and then standard and condition. Just give it any number here and name it anything you like. So I'll name it Stat Oasis Ultimate C Rising. Let's save it. So once here, you go to add first condition. So this is the rising. So if you go to comparisons and go to rising, so you will have this block. And again, because I use TradeStation and multi-charts, I will do the shift at 0. If you're using MetaTrader, keep it at 1. Let's confirm. And now the indicator I will pick as Ultimate C. So again, I put the shift at 0. So now this is my custom block. Now I need to give it some variables so we can get different results from it. So let's add a parameter and we will call it number of bars. And we will keep the default at 2, but we will do the minimum 1 all the way to 10. And I go back to the rising. And now instead of 2, I click on the 3 dots and now I pick the bars variable. So you see now, this one will default at 2, but it will varies from 1 to 10. Now also to make this as a filter, I will extend the look back to 7. So this block will work as follows. If the ultimate C percent with these numbers, 7, 2, and 3, is higher than the previous ultimate C percent, in this case, we're using the variable bars, which it defaults at 2. So if it's 2, that means the ultimate C percent is higher than the same ultimate C percent 2 bars ago, then that condition will be true. So I did this. The ultimate C is rising, the ultimate C is falling, and you can see it's the same one. Bars default at 1, 1 to 10. And then I did it rising above, so it's rising but above a level. So now I have another variable, which is the level. So to illustrate this, we are looking for the ultimate C to be rising but above a certain threshold. So in this case, the green line here is 25, and that's this level. So I want the ultimate C to be rising above a certain level, and the level will be variable from 20 to 80 in step of 5. Then I have the same one as falling below a level, again 20 to 80 in step of 5. And finally, I have a multiple bar low. So in this case, the ultimate C percent is below a threshold, which is this one, the oversold, from 4 to 40 in step of 2, and for number of bars. So to illustrate this, I'm looking to have this, for example. So the ultimate C is below a certain threshold for a number of bars. So the ultimate C percent with these values is below the oversold level for a number of bars. So the number of bars is variable between 1 and 10, step of 1, and the threshold is a variable between 4 and 40 in step of 2. And again, I have multiple bars high. So it's above threshold for multiple bars. So now it's between 60 and 96 in step of 2. So all in all, I have 6 blocks. Now, why I am doing this? This is an excellent filter to add to your strategy filters. So we know how we use the ultimate C percent. In fact, it's already available as a block to use it as a signal to enter and exit, just like I showed you in the beginning as a strategy. But now these will work as a filter for any type of strategy. Now I will use the RSI2 on purpose just to show you even that when you're using the RSI2 as a mean reversion long on the S&P 500, these strategy filter blocks will still enhance your strategy. Okay, so to illustrate that, we will build the RSI2 strategy. RSI2 below 25, we go long. RSI2 above 65, we exit. We also have another exit, which is 5 days. And now we need to make it as a template. So if you go to settings, advanced, switch it on, this will be a template now, and we can add a random condition. Once you add the random condition, save it, this will be a template. Once you save it as a template, go to builder, and let's use that strategy as a template. So we go to full settings, we load the strategy from a template. So load the strategy that you just saved. And then the only thing you need to worry about is the number of conditions. Make sure that you have 1 and 1 as the conditions in entry rule. Remember, this is the only thing that you can change. Otherwise, everything else is fixed. So the entry rule is fixed, the exit rule is fixed, the exit number of bars is fixed, there's no stop loss, no trailing stop, everything is fixed. So the only thing you can change is how many random conditions you will add. And that can be changed here. So once we do that, now we can change the building blocks. So as you can see here, I only selected these custom blocks. So once you build it, it will show up here. And you can see it's only 6 blocks selected, nothing selected in indicators. So I will only use these 6 custom blocks as filters. Money management, I'm only using 1 contract. There is no cross-check. And in rankings, I, of course, want profitable strategies. So my conditions are very simple. 1.3 profit factor. Return to drawdown is 4. Number of trades is above 85. Now, this is not a robustness test. This is just to show you that how a simple strategy filter, even though it's an oscillator, based on a strategy that uses an oscillator to get in and out, still produce very good results. So I'm using TradeStation Engine on the S&P 500 daily time frame since 2007. Okay, let's stop it here. So we have 81 strategies. Remember to switch this on, dismiss similar strategies, because we don't want strategy that's using a different filter but producing the same results. Now for comparisons, these are the figures for our original RSI2 strategy. So let's see, open drawdown is $44,000. We are making $192,000, 74 win percent, 481 average trade, 31% exposure, and 4.3 return to drawdown. So if we go to builder, let's sort by return to drawdown. And look at this, we have 14 return to drawdown compared to 4. In fact, all the top strategies here are above 6. Not only that, we can produce also better returns. So look at this one. The return to drawdown ratio is 6.73. Profit is more than the original strategy, 215,000. Let's see how this strategy is doing that. So we go to the source code. Let's squish this down. And let's look at the filter. So the filter is multi-bar high. So basically it's the RSI strategy, and we are using the ultimate C percent with the values 7, 2, and 3 is higher than 8 for 9 bars. So this means this ultimate C indicator higher above the threshold of 8 for 9 bars. So that's a very easy condition. And that's why we see the number of trades is high, 395, compared to our original strategy with 400 trades. So to me, that's not a filter. I mean, only 5 trades, that's not a lot. But we can pick something like this. So this one is 8.18 return to drawdown. That's double the original drawdown. But this one is 250 trades. So we are taking almost that's 150 trades from the original strategy. That is a lot. So this one, it's using the ultimate C is lower than 32 for 1 bar. So we are taking the RSI2 signal below 25 if the ultimate C is below 32. And even though the ultimate C is an oscillator like the RSI, but because we extended the look back, remember we made it 7, now it's acting as a filter, and a really good filter. Look at this. It's almost 37% of the trades are gone. Now, if we go at the top, which is the 1404 return to drawdown, this one is 176 trades. So this is filtering out more than half the trades. And the condition here is using this. The ultimate C percent is falling for 3 bars. And the ultimate C percent is below 32. So very simple instructions. The ultimate C percent is falling for 3 bars. So 3 bars in a row, it's going down. And it's going down while it is below 32. So extremely simple logic, yet it's filtering out more than half of the trades and produce amazing results. And that is how to use the ultimate C percent indicator as strategy filters. You build your own custom blocks, and once you learn how to do this, you can start accumulating strategy filters that are customized. If you like this video, then you will love the next one.